Good part of the day, my dear digital friends. Anna Dieter is here, ready to answer any of your questions. I just got back from the beach, and as you see, my hair is still all up because it's such a nice weather in Florida. The sun is shining. The only problem is it's very windy this spring. I don't know why. It's not typical for Florida. Usually at this time, we already have blown a full blown summer weather, but at the moment, we are still a little bit in the windy season. The sun is shining, but the wind is blowing. The breeze is a little bit strong. I didn't even go in the water today. I didn't even swim. So, while we are waiting for people to join us today, I want you to write here in the notes on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Instagram. Write to me what country you guys are from. I'm still figuring it out what's the best time to go live to catch more people. So, and as we are waiting for more people to join, let me explain to you what is it that I have planned to talk about today with you, my dear digital friends. And of course, I'm assuming that most of you, people who this Sunday just spend time communicating with me, you are people who you or your loved one struggle with oral self-expression. You are people who stutter, stammer, clutter. So I see people are joining me on Facebook, I see. So let me know that you are here and what countries I'm communicating with. This is a very helpful information. I would like to know what kind of people are in front of me. So here is what we are going to talk about today. The main, I would say, complaint of all people who stutter when they come to me, the most complaint is always the same. They all say that they are afraid of speaking. Most people who started tell me, I can speak fine when I'm alone. I can speak fine when I am in front of my close relatives, when I'm with my girlfriend, when I'm with my boyfriend, when I'm with my pets, my children. I'm fine. I speak, as they say, fluently. But the moment I see some other people in front of me, I begin to stumble, to stutter, to stammer. And this is why people who stutter don't like very much to speak. Because when you are doing something and you are not really good at what you are doing, of course you don't want to do it. You don't like doing it. And when you don't like doing something, when you don't want to do something, how often do you do it? Of course, you're doing anything to avoid it. You don't want to speak, right? If every time, maybe not every time, but whenever you speak, you begin stumbling, mumbling, stammering, stuttering, whatever you call it, stuttering, you feel physically that you're blocked. You feel that you are not being yourself. You don't like doing this. Each time you do it, you just convince yourself, I'm not good at speaking. I'm not. Something is wrong with me. I better go and get some help from speech therapist, right? Doctor, from anyone who would promise some help. And when this happens, unfortunately, people who stutter, most of the time it happens when they're very young, at the very young age. They don't know anything better, they're kids. And when parents see that their child, their loved one, struggles, of course they begin looking for help because they don't know how to help their baby, their child. And that's where the problem starts. So, okay, let me see, someone wrote something to you. Or teacher_stutter. Hi, I like the way you call yourself teacher, but I don't like that you call yourself stutter. Okay, oops, my background goes. So thank you so much for your likes and for your thank you right here. I'm glad that I talk to people who I am on the same wave energy. That's very nice. And by the way, if you have any questions, I'm here to answer your questions. But today I would like to talk about this very interesting topic. It's the most important topic in terms of dealing with stuttering. It's a psychological problem. Psychological. People who stutter hate speaking because they are afraid of speaking. Why are you afraid? Wave, yes, yes, wavelengths, exactly, yes, Teacher Stutter wrote. So people who stutter are afraid to speak, just like singing. No, I mean, just like any other muscle skill, because singing is also a skill. Whenever you learn to sing, have you ever seen people, I don't know, maybe you didn't mean it this way, but I just want to mention that many people like singing and they're good at singing. And that's why people sing everywhere. You can see them, you can see them, vacuuming or washing the dishes, women, and still singing because they like doing this. It's so pleasant, right? So pleasant. Why? Because they know how to do it. They have learned, they have trained their body, mind, biocomputer for performing singing actions, which is, of course, again, a muscular action. Muscular. Again with the tongue. It's all about the tongue, right? So, but we also know people who are not really good at singing. They sing out of tune. They're not good singers. And guess what? When you are not good at something that you are doing, and whenever you begin singing in front of people, people are going to laugh at you. People are going to say, you're not good at singing. You're singing out of tune, right? So this is why, just like singing, if you don't know how to sing well, if you are not good at doing something, you're not going to do it too much. If you don't do singing well, you're not going to be singing, I promise. You will be hiding from singing. Everyone else is singing, but you're going to be just smiling and saying, yeah, good, no, I'm not going to sing. You sing, right? This is exactly what's happening with people who stutter. They're not good at speaking. They don't want to speak. Basically, people who stutter speak only when they absolutely have to do it. Why? Why people who stutter don't want to speak, don't like to speak, and don't know how to speak? Don't know how to speak. Yeah. Okay, teacher_stutter, therapist. Hi, I'm from China, like you. So, wow, from China. This is very interesting to me. from China. Tell me, do you live in China now or you are in the States now? Because China is pretty close country. It's very interesting to me to know, to learn about the status of speech education in China. Because I have worked with Chinese people as well. And of course, because there are so many people in China, billions or whatever, many, many millions at least people in China, that's why this problem is huge. Especially today when the communist government in China just puts their people under the house arrest. People are struggling. There is no socialization. There is no speaking today encouraged in China. This problem is just huge. It's just increased dramatically the problem of oral self-expression. Yeah. Ehsan Mehati on Facebook send me happy face. Hi. Thank you for your happy face. So guys, let me remind you that I am ready to talk about anything you want to know. Okay, someone else just joined. I'm still in China now. Wow. This is interesting. I thought that Chinese government is blocking you from communicating through Instagram with the rest of the world. Tell me more. I'm really, really interested about this because I would love to begin helping people in China. I would love to educate people in China because I know there are many rational people in China. Many, not a lot, but many. Yes. Okay, Jam Wall just joined. Thank you so much for joining. Let me wave to you. Okay, but let's continue. So if you have any questions about being afraid of speaking in public and what is it exactly you need to do to stop being afraid of speaking, stay tuned. Don't leave. We'll talk about it right now. So let me see if there are any questions. Thank you for your likes. Thank you so much. Okay. So I don't see too many people joining, have joined, but I'm going to still begin. So let's talk about fear in general. I like to divide all the fears people have, not just people, actually. Even animals have fears. And the original fear at the animal level, it's actually our friend. It's great when we have natural fear of whatever, whenever we have fear, whenever we fear for our life. Let me give you an example. You are walking, crossing the road, okay? And as unfortunately happens a lot of people are walking around, young people especially, they're walking around with a cell phone in their hands and they don't pay much attention to their environment. They're walking, they're texting, right? So you are walking and you are about to cross the road. You push the button, you're a good citizen, you push the button, you're waiting for the green light, and you are just texting, okay? But the green light is on, and you, without even paying attention to anything else, you begin walking and texting. And at this moment, you feel shocked because you hear, boom, someone is honking at you. Why? Because someone is still finishing the left turn, whatever, different traffic rules. But the car was going too fast and it decided to just continue moving in spite of the green light for the pedestrians and red light for the car, but the person, the driver, couldn't stop the car. It happens sometimes when you are driving, right? So the person is continuing to move the car, and the pedestrian is not paying attention. His attention or her attention is on texting. So what would you experience if you hear this doo? What would you experience at this moment? Right? This is a natural fear. You fear for life. This fear, this loud noise awakens you to reality. And the first emotion you experience is fear. You're fearful. And this is your friend. This is your angel. It saves you. It saves your life. So what do you do at this moment? If you see that the car is still moving, you're going to do what? You're going to run, you're going to move quicker, or you're going to just move back and let the car go, just depending on the situation, right? So this kind of fear at the animal level is our friend. It's wonderful. We need to embrace our fear. We need to live with it, and we need to thank it. Thank you so much, my dear fear. You saved my life. Now, but there is another type of a fear. When we imagine things that are not reality. Once again, let me give you an analogy, a very simple example. Imagine you are a person who stutters, a little child. A young child, a young student, is in the classroom reading something out loud. The teacher called this child to read out loud in the class. The child grabs the book and begins to read. And something, the child is just learning to read, and maybe he or her or she made a mistake, stumbled. Does it happen? Of course it does. So the person, the little child, made a mistake in reading. And when he made a mistake in reading, he read a totally different word, and it was funny. He made a mistake, but it was funny for other children and even for a teacher. And guess what? Everyone begins to laugh. Do they mean to make fun of this young baby, young child? No, of course not. They don't laugh at him. They laugh with him at the funny thing he's done. He made a mistake and he read the wrong word, which made everyone funny. It's created a lot of fun, and people are laughing. They're not mocking this little child. They're just laughing with the child. But at this moment, this child may have awakened a very strange idea. Oh, they are laughing at me. They are mocking me. I am not good at reading. I'm not going to read anymore in the class because they're laughing at me. I'm not going to read anymore. You know how children do this? And guess what happens at this moment? The moment this child has come up with the idea that others are going to always laugh at him when he or she reads out loud or speaks out loud, this child believes that he is not good at reading or speaking, and he stops learning, stops adjusting his body-mind computer for performing these muscular actions. muscular actions of producing word after word after word. See, I'm going in little details because I want you to understand where all the fears are coming from. All the fears, most of our fears are coming from our childhood. When we get some really strange ideas that do not resonate with reality, it's not true. Yes, you can learn to move your tongue to say accurately and with ease and confidence any word you want. It's not true. You're not a special child. People are not laughing at you. People are laughing with you. And then what happens next? This child, he's already, or she, I'm saying he, it's easier for me. He is already afraid to speak because he doesn't want others to laugh at him. And from this moment on, this child, instead of speaking, repeating this word again and again and again until it sounds just like everyone else produces this word, instead of increasing the number of repetition for saying this word until the tongue is doing a good job and the ears hear that, yeah, I just said this word just like everyone else. Instead of that, this child stops speaking, hides from speaking and from speaking situations. And guess what? As the result, this child stops learning. How can you learn to operate your muscles if you do not operate them? Can you do this? No. And as the result, this child grows into an adult, but he still has discoordinated body, mind, computer for speaking. It's still discoordinated, no coordination. How to move the muscles, how to say anything without any fear, without even thinking about, oh, I have to think how to speak. Oh, I have to speak now. Look how they're looking at me. Oh my God, I better say something. Oh, I'm doing something wrong. And so on and so on. Okay? So this kind of a fear is something that is not helping people to learn to do anything. I'm going to give you another quick analogy. Imagine a young baby, just maybe 1-year-old baby, begins to train his leg muscles to walk. What will happen if the baby walks and, of course, falls on the butt right away? And what will happen if at the moment when the baby falls and attempts to get on his feet again and walk again, what will happen if at this moment the mother says, no, dear, don't walk, don't use your legs, keep sitting on your butt. No, don't walk. I don't want you to fall anymore. Don't walk. What will happen if this strange, I would say stupid mother would not let her child to continue training his leg muscles? Would this child ever learn to move his legs? Of course not. Of course not. And another question, what would happen if the mother, at the moment, after the moment her baby fell, what will happen if the mother would give this baby crutches? A crutch. No, I don't want you to fall anymore. Here are the crutches. Walk with the crutches. And she would force her baby, encourage her baby to always use crutches. Never walk, never attempt, never train the leg muscles to walk without the crutches. So the question for you, will this baby ever learn to walk on his own, using his own legs, using his own coordination of body, mind, computer that we all have to walk without any external help, any crutches? This is very important to understand what I'm talking about, and hopefully you do understand. And if you don't, of course, you know how to find me. If you don't, here is a quick announcement for you. I really encourage you, watch my webinar at www.live-stutter-free. See, this is the reason I keep Live Stutter-Free, live-stutter-free.info. It's right here. People on Instagram don't see it. It's you probably will see it backwards. I don't know how it works for Instagram, but www.livestutterfree.info. This is where I recommend you go and you make your first step. Learn what you need to do the first step you need to take to live stutter-free forever. And of course, you can do it in only 3 days. Learn what to do in speech and then live stutter-free forever. Live fear-free forever. But let's go back to our topic of how to get rid of fears in speaking. So the reason I gave you an analogy of working with crutches or not moving the muscles at all, okay? So you could understand that speaking is also a muscular skill. It's a skill that we all learn when we are very young. We begin learning how to move our speech leg. I call it a speech leg. We walk in speech by using our tongue. I'm going to give you a very simple information. The bottom line. What is speech? Speaking. Speaking is moving our tongue. Period. Nothing else. Speaking means moving the tongue. Nothing else. So if we are not moving the tongue, we are not speaking. If we are moving our tongue incorrectly, we are stuttering. I'm going to repeat because this is the bottom line. I'm already thinking about creating a visual image about it. The bottom line, speaking is moving the tongue correctly. Correctly moving the tongue. No moving the tongue, no speaking. Moving the tongue incorrectly, abnormally, unnaturally, wrongly, is stuttering. So why are you afraid of public speaking? Simply because someone, when you were young, convinced you that you are a special person. You're special. And you accepted it. You believed the lie, the false information that you cannot speak like all other people on the planet, unfortunately. This is a disinformation that you still believe. If you stutter, you still believe it. And you also learned from people, confused people, miseducated people, even people who call themselves speech therapists. They are miseducated, unfortunately, too. I was one of them. I also was a speech therapist for 30 years of my life, and I didn't know what speech was. I had no clue. They didn't teach me what normal is in reality. Nobody ever taught me. It took me 30 years to finally find this information. And this is what I teach to my students. Okay, let me see. Someone wrote something to me. See you tomorrow, dear beautiful and elegant therapist. My dear teacher _ Stutter, I am not a therapist. No longer. I was for 30 years, but I do not call myself therapist. And if you're still here, please visualize the word therapist written in letters. Do you see it? THERAPIST, right? Therapist. And now I want you to do one experiment to really understand who every therapist on the planet is. Not because a bad or mean person. No, I don't mean that. I'm not talking about humane qualities. I'm talking about you and other therapists, trained professionals. Okay? So I want you to break the word therapist, which is a compound word. Compound word. I recommend you break it in two parts. THE, and the second word is what? THE is the, and what's the rest? You do it. You do it. The, and then put together this word, RAPIST. What's the word? The rapist. The rapist. That's what it is. All therapists on the planet are very good people. I am not even doubting them. That. Okay, we have big hearts. This is why we went into this profession, to be able to help other people. But we've been trained to be the rapists, unfortunately. We've been trained to tell people, okay, it just distracts me when I get messages. Okay, so we've been trained to believe disinformation. This is not true. And I was teaching this disinformation that I learned in my speech therapy school. I was teaching it for 30 years of my life. Today, I've been teaching the truth for 10 years. I'm 63 years old already. I look at myself, I see my wrinkles, I go like, where is my beautiful wrinkle-free skin? But I don't care, okay? I don't care anymore about the way I look. I care about the message I spread to people, especially young people, because I really, really want people to understand that the animal fear is our friend, but the fear that we imagine is not really our friend. I didn't finish the analogy, unfortunately. I didn't finish what I was telling, so let me continue. Remember, I told you that you believe. See, you are 62 years old, but you look so young. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. I'm 63 already, not 62. Okay, I don't know for how many more years I'm going to be working. My goal is to begin educating educators. We need to create the new profession. And if you are in China, come to me. Let's chat. Let's talk how you can develop this new profession in your country. Forget about speech therapy. Forget about speech pathology or any other medical approach. We need to create special education teachers. Stuttering is special education need. Thank you. You're so pretty. 63, you're so pretty. Thank you so much. It's very pleasant to communicate with me. So come to me in person. So where was I? Okay. I was talking about the fear that you created. So please, you need to explain to people who stutter. If you are not stuttering yourself and you are a person who is helping people who stutter, the one thing people need to learn is that they are not special. They have exactly the same speech instrument, which is the tongue. Yes, I have experienced a lot. Now I am an intern. I like the word intern because this is how I am planning to educate my future students. Come on. Okay, my future students. I want to do everything as internship. The theoretical course will be very brief. It's going to be just hands-on experience. Each and every student who will come to me, I hope we're going to be able to do it next year. I hope. Because this year, again, we didn't have the funds to do it. So hopefully next year we're going to begin. And I am looking for about 100 people speaking different languages. Then we can create this new profession, Etalon Speech Education. So once again, go back. Okay? No, wrong type. What do you mean, no, wrong type? Oh, yeah, I mean fear. Yeah, I understand what you mean. Of course, wrong type. Education, I am a first grade teacher. Yay! First grade teacher, perfect. You're exactly a person who I'm looking for. I need teachers on board with me, not therapists. They don't know what they're talking about, and they're so proud of what they're doing. Okay? I just recently got in touch with a Russian speech therapist who posted the guy. She said, I worked with him for 10 days. And the guy who happened to be from my native city in Russia. I'm from Russia and originally, and I worked as a speech and language therapist in Russia for 17 and a half years before I left Russia. And I saw this kid, 15-year-old kid, and he is speaking and doing this kind of movements. Speaking like this, very, very sad, and making these weird movements of his arms. I couldn't take it. I'm like, why? Why did you teach this child moving his hands, his arms? All you need to do to teach him to move his tongue. Excuse me. Okay? So she got into battle with me. She says, I don't understand why people notice how he is moving his arms and they don't notice that he is now speaking. Duh, because speaking with arms like this is funny. This is exactly why other people are mocking stutterers, are laughing at stutterers, because they are acting in a weird way. Why would you speak like this? For what? The first thing I do when my students come to me, I watch them like a hawk. I always tell them, why are you moving this muscle? Stop moving your eyes. Stop moving your hands. Stop moving your eyebrows. Stop moving your neck. Stop moving your head. This is the first thing I address, the very first. But I do it right after I have already explained to each of my students what is it they need to do, how they're supposed to to use their tongue. Yes, you're supposed to move your tongue instead of moving any part of your body. No breathing muscles, no eye muscles, no neck, no, like, if you are the first grade teacher, you probably have seen what kids do. They go like, nah. They don't know how to speak, right? Let me drink something here. Nice lemonade. Okay, so you know how kids speak. And as the first grade teacher, I encourage you to observe kids speak. For example, let's say they want to call you teacher, and they may do like you are in front of the child. He's not going to look at you. He's going to look somewhere and go, T, 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 T. Right? And what are you supposed to do at this moment? You're supposed to touch this little child and say, are you talking to me? Okay, then you gotta look at me. Okay? Give me your word and look how you should move your tongue just like I do. Look, teacher, teacher, repeat, teacher. Good job. Now you look like a big boy. Yes, you just moved your tongue just like all big boys do. Never do what you just did. T, T, T. But you gotta model for the child. Model, show him what he has to do. Yes, I got it. Yes. This is why you understand me, because you're a teacher and I am a teacher. And this is what all children need. All children need the subject of Etalon speech education to be included in the school curriculum. This has to be it. You know how they have PE, physical training, right? Physical education kids have in schools. They all need to have speech education. It's also PE, physical education, but physical education of how to move the tongue. That's it. This must be a subject in the school curriculum. Must. If we want our life to become more fair, more pleasant, we must learn to speak accurately and with ease and with confidence. So once again, what do you need to do if you are still afraid of speaking? If you haven't listened to this live stream from the very beginning, then I will just give you a summary of what is it that you need to do. Instead of being afraid of moving incorrectly your words out of you, producing your words, instead of being afraid of that, you simply need to learn how to produce these words in the same way how billions and billions of people are doing it naturally. How generations of people were doing it before we are living today. Generations after generations have been doing it in the same way. Because we all are the same. We all have exactly the same tongue, exactly the same container with carbon dioxide, air that we use for speaking. We have exactly the same strings that are right here in our voice box, 2 strings. It's like any musical instrument, strings like a guitar, okay, vocal cords. These strings, when the flow of carbon dioxide gas coming through, we're supplying it, it just goes through the strings and the strings begin to vibrate. Okay, that's how the voice is being produced. We all have the same, exactly the same strings, vocal strings right here. We all have, again, the tongue. And we move it in exactly the same way if we never stop ourselves from doing it. And we have had experience learning, training this muscle to move in the way how all people are doing it, in the same way. We all have the brain right here. By the way, our brain is just the place, the storage room of information, like capacity. It's our hard disk, our hard drive, right? For memory. You people who start to have it, you all have it. But do you know how to operate this body-mind computer for accurate, pleasant speech production? No, you don't. So if you want to finally stop being afraid of speaking in public, realize that all these fears are not reality. You are fearful of things that are not real. Yes, you can learn to speak accurately and with ease. Yes, you can. And you should stop believing the lies that you are weird, that you cannot speak like all other people on the planet. This is a big fat lie. Yes, you can speak like all people on the planet. But of course, you need to learn to do it, just like anything else. I'm going to repeat what I have said already once. Speaking is moving the muscle. One muscle. It's called the tongue. Okay? One muscle. It's called the tongue. Moving the tongue correctly, specifically, precisely. And if you still haven't learned how to move your tongue, you gotta learn it. Because until you haven't learned how to move your tongue naturally, from top to bottom in your mouth, top to bottom, come to me in person. It takes, if you have a problem with oral self-expression, if you're still afraid of speaking in front of other people, then it will take about 6 hours of my time to explain to you what is it that you need to do to begin moving your tongue just like all people on the planet, and not without having any fears, without any fear. Because you need to learn it only one time. One time. You learn what to do with your muscle, begin doing it, continue doing it, repeating, and then you realize, what was I afraid of? That's what I'm supposed to do. Exactly. This is what I'm supposed to do. Move my tongue in this specific way. If you are not moving your tongue, there is no speaking. It's just like this. Let's say if you want to say the word teacher and you go like, are you moving your tongue? Ah, you don't. This is why there is no speaking. Okay, that's what I did too. Okay. Speaking is moving their muscle. Yeah, but one muscle, one, not these muscles, and this muscle. And the movements of this muscle is extremely, extremely easy, but very specific. Easy, but specific. Please understand this. This is very important. You still don't know what it is. And by the way, if you want to learn what these movements are, I'm looking, no, I don't have my book here. This book, you see my books? This book is talking in details about how to move the tongue, to say to learn to move your tongue for saying, producing any word. This book is called Correcting Speech of People Who Stutter. Do you see it? Роман Снежкова and Adira, Edelon Press. We published it in 2020. Okay? So now I'm working, just never have the time, but I do want to write the second edition of this book because we have already come up with a lot of new information that is very, very helpful as well. So if you need this information, of course, you need to come to me. So you mentioned teach_stutter. You mentioned that you want to sing it tomorrow. I'm not sure why, how you did it. But if you still don't know, I recommend you go live Stutter-Free.info, watch my webinar, and it's free. And then schedule an appointment with me. Schedule a free consultation with me via Zoom. I don't know if you guys are allowed to use Zoom in China. If you are, then let's do it. So I am available on any video platform. It's WhatsApp, it's Instagram, it's LinkedIn, Facebook Messenger, whatever, you name it. I am available anywhere. So if you want to communicate with me, then of course I am available. Okay? So you can schedule an appointment, book an appointment, and talk to me. Okay? So I don't see any questions and not too many people watching. Yeah, speaking is moving the muscle. One muscle, it's called the tongue. Not moving the tongue, no speaking. Moving the tongue incorrectly, stuttering. This is the bottom line. Okay? It's very simple, but very precise. Okay, looks like I'm going to wrap it up because I don't see any questions. So if you are going to see me tomorrow, teach_stutter, that's great, but I haven't seen scheduled appointments yet. You can simply come to me here on Instagram because we are already connected here. Send me a message and we can chat even after this because my next call is in a couple of hours. I still have a little time. I can talk to you if you want. But of course, I'm really interested in communicating with you. You are in China. I want someone to speak Chinese. Any type of Chinese. I know you have a lot of different, it's a variety of Chinese languages. It's very interesting to me. Okay, my dear friends, hope to see you soon in my Zoom classroom, Skype classroom, or anywhere else. Lots of love to you. See you next week. Bye-bye.